Like, I want to start with Chelsea here. And I want to be fair and I want to be consistent. The first half was entertaining from my point of view, but there was holes all over this Chelsea team. Madueke from the beginning was dangerous. Palmer, dangerous. Jackson scored early. And I thought, okay, look how quick they were out the blocks. Fast, quick, decisive. They scored. And then for the majority of that first half, they were so poor in the possession in the middle. They were cut through too easy. There were so many chances created by Wolverhampton Wanderers, who then rightfully and fairly equalised. Then Cole Palmer scores an outrageously good goal. Great long ball from Sanchez. Brilliant first touch and play by Nico Jackson. And then Cole Palmer with one of the finishes of the season right here, right now. There may not be many better goals than that from a team perspective and finish out there. Out of this world. And then a minute or two later, Chelsea concede again. And you go in at half-time and you think Caicedo was sloppy. Enzo was being absolutely bullied in the middle. Gusto was getting torn apart. Wolves were cutting through Chelsea time and time again. The organisation, I don't think it's about the individual players at times. The setup wasn't right. The midfielders were inverting. They were being caught out of position. And it was a carbon copy of pre-season. They came out in the second half and they were just more basic. And basic equals better. Players staying in their more natural positions, quicker passes, staying in a compact sort of position and shape when they were out of possession, and then they pressed at the right times. They didn't sit back and give too much respect to Wolves. And in that second half, as I've already said, it's the most dangerous, scary version of Chelsea that we have seen in years. It was out of this world. They won the ball back high. They were decisive. Cole Palmer's creativity through the roof. People saying last week, Cole Palmer is not going to be able to deliver in this Chelsea team because it's going to be too much of a rigid system. That's just been blown out the water, I believe, in this singular game. Madueke. Now, Madueke, we know has got skill. We know Madueke has got great pace. We know that he is an entertaining wide player. When people have spoke about him being one of the best or being a star, potential, yes, but the output and delivery needs to be there. And what you saw from Noni Madueke today was absolutely out of this world. 2 goals on his weaker foot. He was clinical. He was cool, calm, collected. He had the mentality to allow his brilliant talent to flourish. And he had to today. He really had to deliver after what he put on social media last night about Wolverhampton Wanderers. A lot of players, and this for me is an indicator about him as a person, which I wasn't aware of before. I'm a rival. I don't know as much about him as you guys, Chelsea fans, watch him. But he stepped up in the adversity. It's hard to do. A lot of players would have had stinkers. A lot of players would have struggled, would have felt the weight of that expectation, the boos and the noise. He shut everybody up. He shut every single Wolves fan up, and he delivered. And I just want to congratulate him because today he was amazing. All he has to, I'm not saying he has to get a hat-trick every week because that's crazy. But, to put it into perspective, how good a hat-trick this is, Saka hasn't scored a hat-trick in the Premier League. Rashford hasn't scored a hat-trick in the Premier League as of right now. And we know how talented and how good those two have been at different stages. Madueke here having his best performance in a Chelsea shirt, most decisive performance in a Chelsea shirt. And it's about going on to that next level now and becoming more consistent. That's all it comes down to. The speed is there. The ability is there. It's now about delivery and being impactful. Not just beating your man and overhitting a cross, beating your man and shooting wide. It's about beating your man and putting those balls into the box, scoring those goals as he did today. He's proven that he can do it, more of the same. And I want to speak about Enzo and Caicedo as well. In that first half, they were bullied and they were run through. And I tweeted words to the effect of, they just have to improve. This is so poor. And that equalizing goal from Wolves, from losing the ball, being barged off the ball, making poor tackles, I was worried about them in that second half. The changes, though, being more basic, less invert. Listen, I know why people want to invert. But until you get your defense, until you can get your defensive shape right when you lose possession after inverting, stick to your positions. Stop confusing each other. Second half, Caicedo and Enzo are excellent. Winning back the ball, their passes were accurate, they were strong, they were decisive, and they looked a really good partnership. That second half is the blueprint. and they should be sitting down on Monday morning. They might get that off, to be fair, but they've got to sit down Tuesday morning and they've got to analyze with detail the first half and analyze in detail the second half. And they've got to start replicating what they did there, because that was a £200 million midfield in that second half. I don't think it's about doubting the ability of individuals. It's about the consistency. And consistency for me is more about mentality and having a system that helps you to flourish. So there's some of that that's on the manager. Some of it is on the players and their determination, their dedication, their concentration. But they were excellent in that second half. Pedro Neto, an excellent debut for him. Again, he got a nice applaud when he came on, but was involved and was dangerous. João Felix on his second debut. What a finish from him. Again, the weakest part of his game is his end product and his numbers. What a way to start. If he can go on level to level from here, this Chelsea team could go places. And as I've said, I stand by my original prediction about this team and Maresca. I think it was either going to be awful or brilliant. And ironically, you saw two parts of that in today's game. Chelsea fans know they've got stuff to work on. They have to become harder to break down, concede less chances, as they did in the second half. But that second half proves it's doable. It's now about their manager ensuring that because the first half, it was like, great, you scored 2 goals. But if you keep leaking like that, you're not going anywhere as a team. That second half was amazing. And I just want to sit here and praise that, because that was excellent. And that is how Chelsea get back into the top 4. That is how Chelsea start winning trophies again. That is how Chelsea get back to their levels. That second half is the blueprint. It was phenomenal. Simple and as straightforward as that. It was phenomenal. Dangerous, potent, and worrying for all rivals. But maybe not Arsenal, Liverpool, City, because of where they are. But for everybody else that's in that kind of chasing pack, the Man Uniteds, the Tottenhams, Aston Villa, Newcastle, that is a scary performance in that second half from Chelsea. It was out of this world. It really, really was. Matt here says the space Wolves gave Chelsea was mad. Geez, but fair play, Chelsea. That was impressive. Now can you continue this performance? If so, Chelsea are looking good. Look, people will throw that at Chelsea and say, well, Wolves gave them space. And there's an element of truth to that. I think Wolves maybe got to a point in the game where they stopped respecting Chelsea enough and they afforded them too much space. But at the same time, it was about the quick, decisive passing and the quick thinking of Chelsea as well. Gav here says, good win for Chelsea. And yes, still a lot to do on the shape and defensively. Questions for our set piece coach too on that equalizer. Yeah, listen, I agree. I completely agree with you, Gav. That's something you can't ignore. I think you can celebrate the win today. I think you should focus more on the positives. Those conversations happen not later down the line. They happen after the celebrations. I'm sure Maresca will still be fuming at some of those mistakes if he is this perfectionist that we have read him to be. But if they start fixing up defensively, shout out to Chelsea away fans. They were chanting for our players when we were drawing. Home fans can learn everything. Listen, away fans are always better than home fans. They just are. And it's typically because they're typically speaking the most diehard supporters in the world. Most away fans travel the length and breadth of the country and Europe watching their team. And it's their life's work. And they're always amazing. Enzo Caicedo, second half, bossed it. Palmer, 4GA. Madueke, brilliant. Cucurella, very good. Chilwell, good, especially his passing. Felix fits in. Listen, there's nothing wrong. Everything you've said in that super chat, mate, is absolutely spot on. Chelsea's attackers are ballers. Maresca ball is what D says here. What's the agenda merchants say now? Chelsea. Can anyone explain how Joelinton didn't get sent off for that clothesline on Neto? I didn't actually see that bit. I saw the goal that was disallowed for Brentford at the end. I thought that was a disgrace because it hit him here on the arm, but that's where they measure. Remember, I've been saying this on the terrace for years. They measure offside from there. That part of your arm can make you offside above the shirt line. So how can you not score with it? That's why I've always said it's bullshit. It's either you have to be able to score with it, then you're offside with it, or you can't be offside with it. Crazy decision. Newcastle caught a bit of life there, in my opinion. Good game, though. I had it on. I just weren't watching it thoroughly. I didn't have the sound on.